So, and enjoy the podcast. Dr. Danah.
Now that we got that bullshit out the way.
Yep.
Thank you, Diriyah.
We're always being nice to Diriyah.
And thank you, everybody, for showing up, honestly, and putting up with us for a minute.
Whenever you're done.
Yeah. any more thanks you guys have? And feel free to.
No, you want to you want to start? Well,
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm trying to.
خليه يعطي على جوه.
I'm just trying to figure out where the fuck we are right now.
2 seconds and go.
No, that's not how it's gonna work.
Don't mess up my questions.
First off, I'm sorry. First off, seriously, thank you everybody for being here. It's amazing just to see family all around. Like,
Amen.
For the people that couldn't make it to the door, sucks for you, to be honest. You're late. And we're already starting late. What time is it? It's 4 in the morning in some time zone. So I don't want to start directly with, what's your name? Danah. Sorry.
Danah.
This is the kind of respect we give our guests.
Exactly. Every time you come
yours?
here. What's what?
What's
Nobody
your
cares.
name?
Hey, welcome past the Kabsa. It's your boy Adil. Episode 151. What's happened? What's popping? And you're late. Thank everybody for joining us. Shout out to our tens and tens of listeners. Shout out to tens and tens of viewers. Shout out to Biennale. Shout out to our good friend Diriyah. And I want to say a good shout out to the whole family here. We got everybody that I really care about in one room, and some new people that I do not really care about. That includes you, Fawaz. I just met you. Sorry. You're going to have to build that relationship up. You got a lot of work to do. The guys have put in like a couple of years now. So good luck to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, though. Anyway. Oh, hi. By the way, we have a special guest today. Our good friend, Danah.
Again.
Hi, Danah. How are you?
I'm good.
How you been?
Been good.
Are we going to be whispering the whole day, too? Is this the vibe? Okay, I'm sorry.
Is this loud enough?
No, I know. I want it to be louder. I want people to feel those raw emotions that you have.
Okay, nice. So raw.
So, Danah.
We just met.
No, okay, first off, no. I've known you for a while. I'm not really close to you, as close as Diriyah is.
When you told me you did your homework, you didn't say you were stalking me.
Oh, by the way, when I told you I was doing my homework, I didn't do no homework. I'm going to be very honest. I did not research. I did not ask. I did not really care. That's all. I'm here to care. Now it's time for you to make me care. So I want to start with this. So I don't want to go to mixed feelings automatically. I want to start from the beginning of your career. You're a creative. You are a content creator. You are in so many things. You are basically a chameleon when it comes to the things that you like to do. You started off with photography. Was that right? Fashion or something?
I dabbled in different things here and there. I'd put it as bita kullu. Because that's how
So that's the CV?
That's on the business card. Yeah.
Actually, it's on my LinkedIn profile if you look.
Nice. Hello.
So what got you into fashion in the first place?
I enjoyed dressing up because my mom didn't let me wear princess shit when I was a kid.
Okay.
So she didn't let me wear makeup either. So I grew up and I was really interested in how I'd look and how things would look. And down the line, I realized that I don't give a shit how things look. It's what's inside. So that takes you to mixed feelings.
Okay, so hold on. No. No, we're not skipping over all the way to mixed feelings. I know where you're trying to escape from. No, it's not gonna happen. So you started with that one, right? And then you said something very interesting where like, your mother didn't allow you to do certain things. You've always been a rebel. You still are.
I try.
No, you still are. Like, I don't know you that well, but I've known you enough to understand that still you got that rebel inside of you. You like to go outside of the lines, let's say.
Yeah.
To a certain
I
extent.
can say that.
I know you should. I know you can escape it, but I'm still going to push it over there.
Like, I can see how far I can.
So after that, where'd you go?
I dabbled from fashion to art, advertising, film. Ended up in music.
So all the different creative fields, basically. Did you end up like finding yourself in different places, or were you just experimenting and trying to figure out what works best for you?
It took being everywhere and doing everything to know where I really fit, and that was music for me.
Okay.
Never thought.
You didn't expect like music wasn't part of your like.
No,
plan.
I grew up listening to music. I remember always being in the back of my parents' car and they'd be playing music, Hot Right Now CDs, Buddha Bar, Rihanna.
Very different
Masari
sounds.
at some point.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
So that really shaped up.
That was yesterday for Turks, by the way. Yeah. It's
Just
not he
discovered the
remembers.
song. Yeah.
That was yesterday.
It really shaped up my taste in music and my appreciation for music. There was always music playing at home, in the car, and I just never saw myself working in the music industry or becoming an artist at some point. I always thought I'd be on the consuming side of things and not the creating side.
And how
Why?
does it feel?
Hold on.
Okay.
Why did you feel that though? Because you felt that you were only on that side, but you're here.
I grew up observing. I used to observe a lot and absorb a lot. You know how the Saudi girl life can be, where it's limited.
I actually
what
do
you
not
get
know
to do.
how a Saudi
We are
girl's
the
life
wrong- we are the wrong
can be.
people to answer that.
No
The audience
clue.
knows, I'm
Especially
sure.
me. No idea whatsoever.
تعرف ليه؟ لأنه أنا بنت وأنت ولد وهذه الترباية اللي تربينا عليها.
All right.
So
Or maybe because I lived abroad, I have not spent
It's a
my time around
privilege.
Saudi people. That could be it.
But what do you mean by like what? There's like a certain set of expectations in that sense of being limited, not being able to do whatever you want. Is that what you meant by it?
يعني growing up, I was more boxed by the family and protected, as one would put it. And it took me rebelling and getting out of that safe zone of what I'm allowed and not allowed to do as a girl. And pushing that limit is what got me here today.
Which is where do you think, like in your sense right now, in your journey, is this the beginning of the musician Danah, or is there like more room to go and grow there?
It's a journey. It'll never stop. And I can't even say I began, because whenever anyone asks me, for example, oh, you're a DJ, I'm like, no, I'm just experimenting. Not to set
I'm trying out
expectations.
something new.
Okay, so you don't label yourself as a DJ.
I don't really believe in labeling, because I believe that labeling kind of limits people and puts them in boxes. Because if I went around calling myself a DJ, people are going to limit to who I am is to done as a DJ. But I'm not a DJ. I'm a human being, and I do a lot of different things. And I don't want to be labeled by what I do as much as I want to be labeled by who and how I am.
See, the problem is you cannot escape labeling. No matter how hard you try, because you can say, yo, I don't want to be labeled as anything. I just want to be myself. I mean, everybody here in this room, in what shape or form, is very good at what they do. You got Entitled. You got Nadad sitting in the back. Shout out to Ned. Shout out to the
Amen.
family.
Amen.
You got Ums right here. Everybody has something what they're good at. But at the same time, they know that they're good at other things, just as good as the thing that people know them for. So you can never really escape labeling. If you're good at something and that's what you get noticed for, that's what they're gonna put on you. And then you're gonna have to work really hard to show that you are creative, that you are not just an artist. Because why'd you call it the Mixed Feelings series?
Well, mixed feelings comes from having mixed feelings, and it's something a lot of us have and not all of us are aware of. Back when I worked more with musicians, when I just started, there were sets that would go out and everyone would be listening to them, and there would always be that one set that everyone's listening to and really impacted people, and I'd hear the story behind it. And it's usually something deep that went on with someone that caused them to take out those feelings into their sound. And that's where I noticed artists are mixing their feelings into their sounds. And the thought stuck with me for a while. And I realized that a lot of people put their feelings into their work, whether it's art, music, fashion. You're trying to display or portray where you're coming from in your feelings.
You're as an emotional state, as an emotional, well-being or non-well-being, let's say.
Me calling it mixed is that because we come from a place of mixed feelings in which sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad, sometimes you're both at the same time. And more often than not, if you think about it, we experience waves of emotion coming and going, and it's character building, it's destructive, it's good. It's mixed.
Also a DJ's mix.
Also a DJ's mix.
Also a DJ's mix. There you go.
Like I didn't even think about that part. So thank you for highlighting that, honestly.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. You can leave now.
No, but you made I think I saw the one interview I think you did, and you made an interesting distinction between emotions and feelings, and how emotions are sometimes more long term, feelings are more temporary, more.
So I borrowed this book from my therapist, which I still haven't returned, and that was 3 years ago.
Good to
I'll
know.
return it eventually.
Now she knows.
I read about the difference.
For any
between-
lawsuits, please contact Shamsi at pasthekabsa.com.
He's the one with the books.
So in that book, I read about the different feelings and emotions there are out there, and there's more than one would think. Feelings are temporary, and they come and go in a matter of days, weeks, hours. Feelings that last longer become states that are emotions. So it becomes an emotional state, and that's where a lot of illnesses like depression or anxiety come from. They're pent-up feelings that turned into emotions in the body. And these emotions, if are stuck for long enough, turn into physical illness. And it has a lot to do with energy, health, overall well-being. And that's something I'm trying to shed a light on with mixed feelings, is that there is a place to heal and release through sound or through whatever it is people do that allows them to release and heal.
So basically, it's a struggle.
It's a struggle, it's a challenge, but it's growth in the end. So when you take those feelings and emotions and channel them in a healthy way and release them rather than being reactive or self-destructive or imploding, it gives a space for people to heal and share and feel each other's feelings. Because when you think about it nowadays, people aren't really intimate with themselves and with others, and people limit intimacy to something that's between partners or friends or family, whereas you can really be an intimate human with anyone you meet, and of course in a censored, discerned way. So rather than being in this cold commercial culture where I look at you as an opportunity or a moneymaker in the business industry, for example, I'd like to know more about you and who you are and where you came from. And that would create more room to create together rather than hold our guard up all the time.
So you're talking about going past this the consumerist idea of let's say art as something to be bought and sold, and rather going into building a connection with people. And based off that connection, creating and learning and growing and so on and so forth.
Coming from a place of human connection makes all the difference in the whole experience for everyone involved, I think.
I'm just going to take a shot at this real quick. Is everything that you're doing healing? Are you trying to heal yourself? Is it a form of healing? Let's put it that way.
To me, music is a form of healing, actually.
I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about the creative side of it. The music side of it.
It's creating that space and sharing it, because sometimes you could watch a YouTube video that's motivational, and sometimes watching that same video with the right background sound or music would help the message reach more than it would if you heard it without the music. And that's something I started doing with mixed feelings. I started experimenting, taking a bit of scenes from interviews and film and adding local and regional, internationally produced tracks into that, and seeing how it had a bigger reach towards people, and people were more responsive to words that had music playing in its background.
I still see it as, look, I know you, like, and I'm trying to find a balance between what I personally know about you and, like, what you give out, because it is a form of therapy for you. When it's closed down, it's that thing that you go to that lets you open up all those keys, all those drawers, and you kind of channel through that. I don't think it's mixed feelings. I think it's healing.
It is healing in a sense, and Mixed Feelings is to me a platform and a space for me to share that with people and have people share their feelings and their creations with each other, because that goes back to nurturing the human connection that I'm trying to make people feel more.
Is it more for you to heal inwards, or is it like, you guys, I found this thing that's gonna heal, you want to share it with everyone?
It's more of, hey, this is something that helped me heal, and I want people to feel that too, and I want people to heal too. Nina Simone, in one of her interviews, talked about wanting to open people up and wanting them to open up to themselves so they can open up to others. And that
that's the channel.
Huge inspiration in what I'm doing now with Mixed Feelings.
The channel is for whoever the artist is to put, you know, their feelings, their emotional state, whatever, and put it out there. In
the whole
music.
idea is, if I could listen to your Mixed Feelings, what would they sound like?
Oh,
That's a good
Shamsi's?
question.
No.
Trash.
Yeah, that's
It'd
grunge.
be just, yeah, that's it. It'd be like someone
Playlist
scratching
pushed to the back.
concrete. That's it.
This is probably a cat screaming something.
Exactly, yeah, like zero value. It's gonna be just blank, no sound.
Static. That's it.
So,
He's
White
empty.
noise.
Chalk. Basically, like it sounds of chalk.
The boy has no feelings. What are you talking about?
if he digs,
You have mixed feelings. He's in search of feelings. There's a difference here.
well, then give the podcast a listen. You might find something you feel.
No, I'm always listening to your series, so I do actually like enjoy, you know, the emotional states that it has.
I try. So if you listen to them, you'd find that not a lot of these sets are similar because they come from different sounds, and I try to be inclusive with the sound. I don't limit myself to a genre or a certain time or a certain vibe. I curate these sets based on whether people would feel them when they hear them, and I keep it objective because if I listen to a set, sometimes I can feel it right from the beginning. There is so much feeling in it, and when I'm not feeling that, I make sure other people listen to it, so it's not a subjective opinion, and then they come and tell me, yeah, these are full of feelings, or these are just club tracks, or
Whether they have or lack of the emotion, basically, that you're looking for.
Just like you, Shamsi, you got lack of emotion.
Plenty.
You do not understand this music.
None whatsoever.
There's no... See, when you usually talk to people who really work hard and think they're good at, there's always a goal to it. You know, there's always, I'm not gonna say an end goal, but there's always something that you're trying to achieve. And from what it sounds like from you saying, you're just, the only thing you're trying to achieve is that put a platform out for people to come in, to listen, to understand, and at the same time, maybe they can find their way through it and do the same thing and build their own
I want people to connect.
mixed sound.
I want people to connect inwards and outwards. And that would make a difference in the way people perceive themselves and others and the way people interact with others. And it would leave more room for people to create, and from a place of love and peace, not from a place of commercial gain or just, you know, the shallow things.
Oh, you're gonna be broke for life. I'm gonna tell you right now. You're gonna be broke for life. Well, that's what it is. When every time you creators create for other creators, it takes a bigger creator to support. You know, understand what I mean? You do not really get to the next level without the support of someone that understands what you're going through.
Alhamdulillah, Mixed Feelings community was built on people feeling where I came from and what I'm doing. And yani, the community kind of built itself through people connecting. I'd introduced people to each other. I've connected people in the Saudi and French underground, and that led to them collaborating, us flying artists here and sending our artists there. And it's bridging the gap between different cultures and undergrounds through music. And to me, in some small way, it's creating peace between people.
It's creating a safe space in a sense, where people can actually come here and be, you know, as intimate with each other as they want. In those terms, in terms of sharing their emotions through music.
in terms of being vulnerable and allowing yourself to connect and do things with the intention of digging deeper, with the intention of healing, with the intention, whatever intention anyone might have, as long as it's building towards something bigger and something helpful for everyone involved.
Question. How did you get into the French underground scene?
I was gonna go back to that.
That is a very weird, specific niche right there.
Yo, it was.
It was a Freudian slip.
Just let it in. Just let it in real quick.
Just nothing like the French underground scene.
By the way, Dahlia is serving coffee and donuts to everybody. I'm just telling you, it's a whole family vibe right here. Ned is pouring coffee. Roa's drinking coffee. Everybody's just vibing right here. For y'all who couldn't make it, sucks for you. Anyway, shouldn't have been late.
So that's not the question. French underground. How did that happen?
She was happy for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
So I went around digging on this app called Bandcamp, and it's where artists self-release music, and I dug a little too deep and got
I mean, you did
got into some weird sounds, weird labels, and I came across a few French artists, and I was using the material for one of the Mixed Feelings edits, and I like to give credits, and here's where the connection part comes. And I tagged the artist, and the artist came, and they're like, I love what you did. You really spoke my feelings here with the edit you made, because it matched and resonated. I'd even choose the track name and choose the track by its name in a way that's relevant to what's I'm trying to say in the video, for example, that I'm editing. And it really worked out. He's like, I love what you did. And we started talking about, because everyone thinks that Saudi doesn't really have this music scene going on. And that was before. We have...
That was really before what?
How long ago was this?
2030.
That was before what? Okay, all right.
So we have...
We'll go back to that in a second.
We have international producers not believing that we know their music and we're playing their music. And I'm like, we're not just riding camels around here. We travel, we go, we explore, and we bring that sound
therapeutic
back home.
Camels. For, for a young audience.
No,
keep
but
going,
you built that connection. That's how you built the connection, just by, sharing the same feelings, having the same, vibe when you wanted to use their music and whatever you were doing.
Creating art together, collaborating. I started a group on Telegram where there were artists from different places all over the world sending their music, sending scenes from what's going on there musically, sharing, connecting, curating, collaborating, and it's beautiful. Like, just that impact, even if it didn't get me any money.
Not yet.
Just that impact
I told you could be broke for life.
I don't care about
Good. Keep that. Yeah, keep that energy. Okay, keep that energy.
Keep that artist hustle.
Exactly.
I'm a happy broke artist.
Like all of them are.
Possessions make you rich.
Of course not. It's not about possession. It's about
Purpose.
Impact.
We had this conversation last time you were here. You saw it. So you said before what? Let's go back for a second. So when for people who know, you used to work at mdlbeast. Shout out to our peoples at mdlbeast. How was that experience with what you were going through in terms of music and so on, and getting to work at a company that focuses on that?
It was fun.
Good to know. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts. Amazing.
It was really a character building experience, because I had no experience in music, at least not business. No business experience. I actually went to Soundstorm 2019 as a journalist covering for a magazine somewhere. And I was just mind blown. I was shocked. I'm like,
this is
no
different.
way this is happening here, because me and my friends used to travel and go see the same artists that all suddenly popped up in Riyadh. Jeddah used to be the place, and then Riyadh.
When it comes to EDM, Jeddah was the place.
Yeah, and so I went, I was mesmerized. I came back 2 months after. I got a call from a friend of mine. He's like, mdlbeast wants to hire you. And I'm like, جيب فلوس. Back then I was less about impact and more about getting by. I'm like, كم تدفع? And we got into that negotiation and I went and press played and never came back. صراحة. It was a hell of a journey.
Did you already have mixed feelings, you know, as a concept started by then?
I didn't yet. No, and I didn't even tap into my own mixed feelings by the time. I was just like one of those, you know, those angry teenagers اللي مو فاهمين إيش بيصير. They're not tuned inwards and then they're just reactive and responsive to everything and not really mindful and aware of what they're going through and not really letting things sink in and process them as they happen. So it's just like for a year, even when I was at mdlbeast. And then eventually I learned how to slow down. Are you checking my boy?
No. I'm checking my reception. I don't have any reception on my phone.
Look, everyone asks that question. Actually, so Turks had to answer someone a couple of days ago. They said, why are you guys always on the phone? It's because we take notes.
Do you have mixed feelings?
It's not about mixed feelings. Don't worry about it.
He has mixed feelings about you and your career path. But anyway, you're saying?
Go back. Okay. So during that year, after that year, you felt like...
No, during that year at mdlbeast, or I don't know how long, for a year you were there? How long you were there for? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
it's been a long time.
When you were there, you didn't start mixed feelings yet. Which is
no, I actually started it Feb a year ago, 2021.
How much influence did mdlbeast have on that? Well, not the company, the
culture, maybe.
The genre itself,
being
EDM
around
and music
all
and so
these artists eventually rubbed off because I was already intrigued. I already loved listening to music and hearing new sounds. It would never get old. Whenever I see a new DJ, I'm just standing there and mesmerized, looking at the buttons. How does this work and whatnot? And one day out of nowhere, one of my friends was like, come, let me show you a few things, how it works. And I'm like, I'm just going to watch. No way I can manage this. The mixer actually looks like حق الطيارات, you know, so many buttons. I'm like, I can't do this. And my mom, Allah يحميها, is the type of person to tell me, الساعة 1 تكوني في البيت وتتصل الساعة 12 ربع تتأكد إنه أنا حركب سيارة. And that night, I came home late.
Okay.
Because I learned how to DJ.
Oh, let's go.
That's something that grabbed your attention, basically.
يعني كانت علقة تستاهل صراحة.
And you never looked
Interesting.
back.
I never looked back.
The best beatdown.
And at the time, before it was cool in 2013 and all that, استعرت. She's like, بنتي تطلع DJ. And now she goes around flexing on my friend's parents, بنتي DJ.
Nice, you won her over. Well done.
So your mom still calls you a DJ. You couldn't escape that. I told you, labels. You cannot escape labels.
I actually have 2 little brothers who bought controllers and got into it, and that's when she was like, ترى مسختوها. دخلتكم أحسن مدارس حتفتحوا club. And we're like, wait for it.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
It was a journey.
But leaving mdlbeast and then getting to mixed feelings, what triggered that? I'm still trying to figure out what triggered mixed feelings. I thought today is going to be pure therapy, unpaid
Digging
for.
deep, literally.
You know, with 3 people who need therapy. So it's going to be very interesting.
As long as I get my turn on you guys asking you about your mixed feelings.
Yeah, go ahead, ask us.
So, like I said, it started a year ago in Feb. I started having mixed feelings and I couldn't really talk about them with anyone or share them. And my only outlet was making playlists on Spotify. And I'd go through some shit. And it's painful and it's emotional. I'm like, هسوي playlist. Like, I remember this one time I was sitting at a coffee shop in Jeddah, like crying and making a playlist.
It's an outlet. They're looking for
Look, as much as I want to laugh, that's fucking hilarious.
I can relate to this so much. Yeah.
Don't worry, I heard it, Daddy.
يعني فحاس فيها وبكاء وبس resting face and making a playlist, tears coming down my eyes. And I started sharing them and people were enjoying them. And then I used it as, يعني, it was my voice. It was every little thing about it in the Spotify playlist, from the name of the playlist to the track list to the name of the tracks, was telling a story about what I was going through that no one really knew about. And the tracks themselves and the songs spoke on my behalf. So I found an outlet in it. And that was around the time I told you again, someone provoked the thought that artists mix their feelings into their music. And that's when I started an Instagram page. I thought it's going to be one of those meme music pages that die out when you get bored. And it just picked up. People felt it. I asked a couple of my friends to send me their mixed feelings, and I was trying to explain the concept to them. Like, listen, I know you go through shit and there's a lot of feelings involved, and I know you take it out on your music, so I want that one set where you took out a lot of emotions. Just give it to me, please. And I did that. Two of my friends were kind enough to support, knowing that it was an empty SoundCloud account. Like, they don't know if this would go right or wrong. And then artists started coming to me like, can I share my mixed feelings with you? Nice. And that's when I knew that people felt where I was coming from. And it just picked up from there, actually.
Because healing is very hard. And everyone finds their own way, somehow, in order for them to heal from whatever it is that they're going through. And finding an escape in music is, look, to me, personally, I find it very difficult when I have to hear other people saying my feelings. So if I listen to a track and this track is talking about a problem that I'm going through, I find difficulty. That's like adding fuel to the fire to me. I feel like I don't want to hear that. I want to focus on something else, or focus on myself and try to find that way for me to heal. And I always found it very interesting how people really find their way through music. Turks is one of them also. Turks is just like that. Like, from as long as I've known him for the last 12, 13 years. Oh my God, ew.
Yeah.
12, 13 years.
So
too
sad.
much.
So sad.
Like, especially Champsy also. But Champsy has no value. Anyway, so back to the point.
Or music taste.
Back to the point. The point is, Turks was the same way. Like, depending on the mood and what he's going through, we will know the second that we walk in.
True.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact.
The second you open that door.
Based on moods, basically. That's about it.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. That's what I'm doing.
No, nothing. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I go up to artists, I'm like, I want to hear what your feelings sound like. And about you saying sometimes you don't want to face that, you have to feel it to heal it. You'll never heal something by avoiding it
That was
or
a bar, by the way.
putting it in the back.
Feel it to heal it.
It's just different ways of going through that sense of feeling or expressing it. Like I understand a lot of people that do it through music, because my sister was one of them. She went through that phase where she would literally create her own mixtapes.
Because she has taste.
Okay, no, but it was a sense of what you're talking about. Is she was going through something, and this was a way for her to express it, whether by mixing, parts of a song or just single words or like whole tracks. But that was back in the day. That was the old school cassette tapes. Nowadays, you're doing it in a different genre. Obviously, it's not Arabic. It's not Muhammad Abdu or Rasul Majid. You're doing it by reaching out to your friends, the people around you, and you actually have people responding to you. You're getting to this point where you have a community. It's not just the community that you want to build. No, it's the people that want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I want to be as inclusive as I can. So there are no closed doors. If you come and you send me a sound that doesn't really match the vibe of what's going on, but these are your feelings, I will make room for them. And I'm going up to people and friends from different backgrounds in music. Entitled, you still owe me a mixed feelings set.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. I'm gonna tell you right now. You're not gonna get it. You are not gonna get it. I know Entitled. It's gonna take him what, 10 years? Bugara.
I do tell artists to take their time. I don't give deadlines. I'm like, whenever you're feeling
tell that to Entitled.
send it over.
The year is 2050. And the email bounces back. But it's a safe space, basically.
Yeah.
What do you get from it?
Other than the
as someone that's trying to heal, and you're seeing other people joining you in the same way of healing. What do you get out of when you see all these other people coming out of nowhere that you didn't know?
So yeah, the sense of satisfaction. That's it.
So just satisfaction that you
Feeling that
understand.
there's impact, feeling that I somehow influenced someone or changed their perspective or opened their eyes or awareness to something. That to me is all the satisfaction I need out of it. I'm not doing it for exposure or for commercial purposes or to make money. It's to connect, create, and collaborate.
But do you feel a sense of healing also from it when you see
Yeah.
other people?
Yeah, definitely. يعني, as humans, we do feel happy seeing other people happy. Laughter is contagious. Sadness is contagious. When you see someone crying in front of you, you're bound to feel like sniffled up. And we're empathetic beings. It's just that the time and culture we live in nowadays makes it hard to be that way. And there's a collective healing happening through art, through music, through whatever medium. And the more I get to tap into that myself and share it with people and help people find it within themselves, the more there will be that collective healing and that sense of peace and sense of safety in dealing with one another and ourselves too.
So it's your own way of making the world a little bit better. And it seems to be working.
Yani, I know it won't make that difference, but it will make a difference, and it still remains a difference to me.
If you're making somebody's day better just by him being able to come in and just listen to the set and just come out in a better mood, then you're achieving something, you know? So it's just about taking those small steps, those small achievements into something that's much
It's about
bigger.
the journey. It's not about where it's headed or an end goal. It's about going through that journey and going through it together with the community. Because a lot of us feel that we're really alone at times, and not everyone talks about how lonely and alone they feel or how they're going through things. And people tend to really keep the table talk light and shallow and small, but it takes courage to come out and be like, yeah, I'm going through so many things. I'm lonely. A lot of the times I feel so alone, and it hurts to keep that in and not share it. But then again, when I started speaking up, I got a lot of Me Too's, and I'm like, I thought I was the only one. And a lot of people, I've built deeper connections with a lot of people who said Me Too. And we actually helped each other through so much. And I don't see why that kind of relationship needs to be between people who know each other well. Because I could sit and have this conversation with anyone I meet in the street, and it could be an intimate, vulnerable conversation that would make one of us leave feeling better about ourselves or about whatever is going on around us.
True, but culturally, we're not really prone to do that. It's all about keeping a facade, wearing a mask.
It's all about unlearning
That's something really
the
hard.
things that don't work for us, and relearning. And one of that is vulnerability. And for example, toxic masculinity. خل انت رجال ما تبكي da 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 da.
Yes.
It has very
I don't.
strong
Trust
effect.
me, I know toxic masculinity is
I got you, fellas. I got you. I'll take the fall for us. I got it. Yes, I do not do any of that.
Tears?
I have no feelings.
What are those?
What are tears?
It also affects women. I grew up.
Whenever there's water coming down my eyes, because I have excess water in my eyes.
Leakage, don't worry about it.
Exactly. I have a plumbing problem.
See, and it also affects women because the way men who suppress their emotions act affects everyone around them. And at some point, they used to call me Abu Ali, by the way, back in the day, I swear.
Okay, buddy.
Because I felt that I grew up between boys, and I felt that if you want to survive in this culture, you shouldn't be feminine and dalua or whatever. You need to be like a thug. فكنت مرة أسوق أمها على نفسي وعلى كل أحد. I'd really act tough.
It's the hustle.
It's the environment. It's the environment that you found yourself surrounded by.
It's when you're looking for the safe.
Masks.
I had to be tough. And one day I'm like, okay, people, Abu Ali phase was fun, but خلاص, it's Danah from now on.
Time to move on.
it went.
But you
it was
needed
my
it.
first DJ name too. Someone decided
wow.
to call me that,
Nice.
and I'm like, "Khalas, it's just my close friends. No one knows." And I come to Riyadh, somewhere public here, and I hear someone go, "Inti Abu Ali," and I'm like, "Meen بيسأل?"
Like, I'm glad you
And I
dropped
ended it
that
those
one. Like,
days.
I'm glad you dropped that one.
It's all a part of the mixed feelings journey as well. I learned how to balance my energies and let myself know that it's okay to become feminine as well and not just be overly masculine. People will still respect me and hold the same place for me if I acted myself and not put on a tough act.
Do you feel that it's always going to be a battle to just express yourselves as yourself?
With the censorship and having to be political, it would be, but I like to play with how far I can push that line.
How far can you push that line? Let's go. Let's push it right now.
I can say the
Okay,
word fuck on
guys.
the show.
See, this is the wrong place. I totally forgot. I thought we were home. Yeah, we're not supposed to do it right here. But we'll get back to that one. Oh, trust me.
What's next?
Daddy, what do you want, Daddy? Go pour coffee or do something. Anyway,
That's a good.
she
question.
told you.
Yeah.
She told you. She told you. By the way, Daddy said what's next is because our phones have no signal around here. Or it would have been a text saying, "Yo, ask."
Yeah.
I wasn't
At
updated.
all.
How many minutes do we have left?
Going on with the system. It's not working.
It's called rain.
Have you thought of where you want to take it next? Have you thought of how you want to, let's say, build on it? Not commercialize it, no, but expand it in terms of a bigger community, in terms of, any other ideas that you have?
You're gonna have to like, comment, and subscribe on all the socials
I mean,
to
we
find
will.
out.
Trust me, we will. We will.
You're in the wrong place for that. You're in the wrong place for that.
No, I'm joking. I want to take it further by really connecting. We go back to the French underground here. We're flying in a few artists sometime to connect with and explore what the music scene is like here, what artists here are like. We're already doing that online. We're collaborating with international artists, making music together, sending them Arabic vocals, talking about love and peace and being a collective as a community, and it's picking up. They're sending edits back, and we're because nowadays you don't hear a lot of Arabic electronic music and or what they'd call party bangers, but in Arabic, talking about the state of the world, talking about our culture, talking
It's
about
called Shaylat. I'm sorry.
They are bangers.
Spotify knows.
They are bangers. Yeah.
Tell Spotify, Shaylat is not it. We have Spotify sitting in between us. By the way. We'll just point the finger at them real quick.
So we're hoping to blend that community. It's not a lot that you hear a minimal track with Arabic vocals in it, and that's something we managed to create together through collaborating. So I want to mix more music, make more new music, new sounds, and bridge the gap between different undergrounds and bring those people together.
So going beyond just mixing into actually creating the sounds that you do want to hear, that express the emotions that you do want
And the
to express.
community that comes with it, from the artists, to people who listen to them, to people who dance with them. It's about bringing everyone under one dance floor and on one dance floor.
It's music. It's that's the language. That's the bridge that. Yes, that is basically what
So
bridges
it's a
the
part
different
of the
cultures.
plan. I can't be any more direct at this point.
Yeah. Thanks for giving us a heads up.
حكب العشاء.
And that's why we're here. But quick question. Are you focused globally or locally? Because those are two different worlds.
Locally, regionally, and globally. Because we have, so my number one priority here are the local artists, because I try to, sometimes you see the same lineup of artists on every single thing going
You
on
are
around
so
sound.
nice for saying sometimes. You are a nice person
to be
because you're
political.
friends with them. You're saying sometimes.
Don't call her out.
Yes,
bro. Don't call
you are a great
saying
friend. Let me tell you that.
diversity
You
is
are a
good.
great friend.
I'm saying diversity is good.
It's the same five
Diversity in
people.
sound, in community. Shit us about. But I wanna I want to amplify the unheard sounds more, because so I was tasked to handle bringing artists for this sound festival thing going on. And what I did was I called up people in different cities, and even in Bahrain, Kuwait. I'm like, you know, your little cousin اللي دوب وشاري mixer and he's learning how to play ومستخبي, but there's something there. Bring him. Bring him. And I want to bring out those new talents, because especially after Soundstorm, a lot of artists came up, DJs, producers, and they're all inspired by the people who started the movement here, Baloo, Vinyl Mode.
Shout out to Muhammad Nassar, shout out to Baloo, shout out to all the boys.
He's
amazing.
a G.
And there's a lot of people that were before them that no one ever heard of. They came and went, you know, and it's kind of sad to see that, to be honest, because there are people who really had a hold on the whole EDM scene, especially in Jeddah, as we discussed before.
Yeah.
And those people grew up, now they got kids, families, and now they're watching this new generation come and take it over, and they're just sitting there being bitter.
That's what's next for me, not mixed feelings.
Not sure.
But I'm taking my time.
Well, anyway, I honestly think that when you're talking about the Arabic coming into EDM or whatever it is something that is going to be very difficult to pull out, because it's a cultural change. And sometimes it will look forced. So to get it right is going to be something that really you have to be passionate about. I'll give you a great example. You know Entitled. I've never heard anyone in my life go between English and Arabic so good.
True.
And not only it was good, it made sense. It had value. And
it spoke our language.
And he's a poet.
Yeah.
I know.
Shout out
Get up here,
Wordsmith.
give us a verse real quick. And seeing how hard, because for us, like, we always listen to hip hop. We're known for hip hop. And when we would listen to Arabic hip hop for the longest time,
عشان كده بتشحت set mixed feelings.
have nothing in Arabic. When we listened to Arabic hip hop, we had a problem. We did not like it. That was the number one problem. If we can't like it, how are we supposed to support it? How are we supposed to show it to other people? And then through this little podcast, we made so many great friends in this field. And out of it, we got lucky and we got to meet Noor and Swizz. Shout out to Noor and Swizz and Good Intentions. Thank you for being here. We'll send you the bill. Anyway, we'll send you the bill for coming. Anyway, so I got to sit front row seat and watch an artist work on something that he's so passionate about that people who are around for like 12 years couldn't do it. And you need to always take into consideration whenever you're entering that field, especially when it comes to Arabic, you know how us Arabs are. We're very hard-headed when it comes to our culture, our language. And so it's going to be very interesting to see where you guys are going to take it. I'm honestly very, very intrigued to understand how is this going to work out.
I'll send you a track, but keep it private.
I'm here.
Gave you the solution straight up.
The leak will be at midnight. I'm going to tell right now.
The French underground will thank us.
I like to say shout out to Abu Hamdan for coming late. You know, just real quick. What's happening, Abu Hamdan? What's happening? By the way, before we go, I want to say this real quick. Abu Hamdan, are we getting an Eid special like last year? Are you getting DJ for us? See? Now you got another person. Anyway. Danah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you. Thank you for everyone for being here. We appreciate every single one of y'all. I hope this episode wasn't too heavy on you because it was boring to me, to be very honest. My God, I stepped through half of it. Thank God the guys were talking. It was a puzzle. It wasn't a anyway.
You should have played some music in the background.
We would have had better feelings. Anyway, better than this feeling. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shout out Diriyah Biennale. We're wrapping up early because Hamdan just walked in. Yeah. So we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danah. We appreciate you. Peace.
Peace.